Like, look how safe our planes are. We have jetpack escort for 25 meters of fuel.
Ambessa Medarda, the Noxian general, is coming to League of Legends. She's a very mobile fighter that uses energy to cast her abilities. Her primary role is top laner, but she might also be viable in the jungle. She has plenty of AoE damage and can also use 5 dashes in just a few seconds. Definitely looking like a 200 years champion. Okay, let's have a look at her gameplay while I'll explain to you her abilities. Ambessa's passive is called Drakehound Step. Entering an attack or movement command while casting an ability will cause Ambessa to dash a short distance once the ability is cast. Casting an ability grants her next attack bonus range, damage, attack speed, and also refunds energy. As Riot is saying, mastering the usage of her passive is one of the most important things for playing Ambessa well. Then we have Q, it's called Cunning Sweep, Sundering Slam. Ambessa sweeps her Drakehounds in a semicircle in front of her, dealing bonus damage to enemies hit by the blades. Striking an enemy will transform the next cast of this ability for a short period of time, causing her to slam her Drakehounds down in a line in front of her, dealing bonus damage to the first enemy hit. Ambessa's W is called Repudiation. Ambessa gains a shield, briefly braces herself, and then slams the ground to damage nearby enemies. If she blocked any non-minion damage while bracing herself, this ability will deal increased damage. Ambessa's E is called Lacerate. She whips her twin Drakehounds around herself, damaging and slowing nearby enemies. Initiating her passive from this ability causes her to strike a second time at the end of its dash. Ambessa's ult is called Public Execution. Ambessa blinks to the furthest enemy in a line of her choosing and suppresses them upon her arrival. She then slams the enemy into the ground where they take damage and are also stunned. Remember, this ability is a skill shot similar to Yoni's ult. Since a lot of Ambessa's damage comes from her abilities, not her auto attacks, she should be losing in extended fights. Assuming you can get to her, because as you notice, she is a very mobile champion and her dashes honestly aren't that short either. Just imagine playing an AD carry like Lucian here and trying to survive her. Trying to kite Ambessa, especially a fed one, is definitely going to be interesting. Kinda looking like trying to run away from Kassadin. As Riot is saying, to counter her in teamfights, use the crowd control for her. It's that simple. To me, she's definitely looking like another 200 years champion. Let me know what do you guys think about her. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.
The fuck does a 200-year champion mean? That he's gotta be OP for 200 years. Yeah.
Outright Marxist. Now, those are not my words. In one essay he wrote, Katsubai argued that the integration of Marxism with traditional economic theories of property, specifically that of Locke and Bentham, would, quote, provide a framework for relationships that enhance each unique self. Here's a pro tip. If a guy is writing love letters to Marxism, maybe he's not the best candidate to be a federal judge. Also in that same piece, he argued, quote, the aspiration towards intimate knowing, the intimate knowing of oneself and others in our community, is a creative struggle towards redefining property. How many of y'all want to redefine property? And maybe the answer is all the members of the committee on the Democrat side do. Your constituents don't. Redefining property, being told, for example, the home, your family home that was your home and your mother's home and your grandmother's home is no longer your property. It is the state's to do with what they will. Redefining property is an objective of Marxist, and by Marxist I mean communist. Communism is not simply theoretical. My family has suffered at the hands of communists. And yet in the Biden administration, that appears to be a qualification for becoming a federal judge. Not only are his views extreme, but when it comes to gender and sex, they're really out there. In the Wisconsin Women's Law Journal, Judge Kasubai wrote a piece titled Destabilizing Power in Rape, Why Consent Theory in Rape Law is Turned on Its Head. He cited radical Professor Catherine McKinnon, who argued, quote, sexuality itself is a power web in which heterosexual relations per se are infused with violence and control, and that most intercourse is rape. Is it the position of the Democrats on this committee that, quote, heterosexual relations per se are infused with violence and control and most intercourse is rape? That's moonbeam nuts. And you all know that. But there's a reason every Democrat senator is looking down, because you can't defend these views to your constituents. You're counting on the fact that the corporate media will not tell your constituents about the loons you're voting to confirm. Katsubai, also in apparent agreement, quoted Professor McKinnon as saying, quote, I employ the view that rape is sex in order to focus on the significance of consent in rape law, and non-consent must be presumed. That's a lot of things, but that's not actually American criminal law. This guy's been nominated to be a real judge applying the real law. Katsubai tied these two together in the same article, where he quoted approvingly from McKinnon the phrase, quote, sexuality is to feminism what work is to Marxism. Now, to be honest, I don't know what the hell that means, but I don't like it. It's out there. What is it that makes you see this guy crowing about how wonderful Marxism is, and you say, hot diggity damn, we found us a judge? We also know that in his view, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, will be central to his approach to the law. How do we know this? Well, because he said it. And here's his quote, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is the heart and soul of the court system.
All right. Very good.